Tallahassee, Compton, Watts, Bay to LA. Pomona, California, from valley to valley, we represent that killer Cali. So if you keeping it real on your side of your town, you tune in to Gangster Chronicles.
Gangster Chronicles, we gon' tell you how it goes.
If I lie, my nose will grow like Pinocchio. We gon' tell you the truth and nothing but the truth.
Gangster Chronicles, this is not your average show.
You're now tuned into the real MC8, Big James, and Big Stairs.
This is strictly from the streets.
Hello.
We represent the James.
We'd like to welcome everyone to another episode of the Gangster Chronicles podcast. You know, the podcast that keeps it true to the streets, and I'm with my dogs.
Big J.
Chip. And tonight, fellas, I want to talk about the 80s, 1988 to be exact. And that's a significant time I think, for so many reasons. For me, that was almost the start of the crack epidemic.
No, way before that. Before 88.
Yeah, for me, what I'm talking about, I think that's when it impacted me the most. That's when it kind of started, because I've been hearing about it and stuff like that. And I think it finally just kind of came to life around me, as far as like when I first saw it, when I first started hearing about why certain people in the neighborhood was falling off. You know, the brothers that had the good jobs and all that other shit like that, had the good jobs, and all of a sudden they seem like they doing bad. And I was hearing, man, they smoking that pipe, they hitting that crack, you know what I'm saying?
Well, 88, that's pretty much damn near the ass end of it. Like, when it was really popping, 88, I came home from prison in 88. It wasn't selling like it was cracking 82, 83, 84, 85. It wasn't cracking like that. 83, that's when we first was up on it. That's when we was first tripping off people, because, you know, some motherfuckers roll a dollar and they was snorting and shit. We didn't know motherfuckers was putting it in the pipe and all that other shit. So like my uncles, you know, they were snorting this shit. You know, when we first got introduced to it, the hood got first introduced to it. So, you know, as the years went on, you know, you seen your uncles and other people fall off, lose their jobs, and you seen niggas come up, new cars and shit, because, you know, before you knew it, a motherfucker was getting credit. And before you get your paycheck, you already in the hole $600.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So, yeah, it was a tough time.
Man, I saw cats lose cars. I saw cats lose their apartments. I saw cats getting their apartments turned into dope spots, you know what I mean?
Right.
Cats that had nice cribs, I'm talking about, next thing you know, this the spot. There's niggas riding around mama's car. You hear about certain mamas in the neighborhood don't suck the homie off. Just foul shit, you know what I mean?
Well, that was a way for us with transportation shit. You gotta get
smokers' cars?
Yeah, you rent you a smoker's car and shit for that piece and shit. You get to ride around, go take care of your errands, do what you gotta do, take your girl out, especially if you didn't have a whip at the time.
Shit, keep 108. Niggas was using smoker cars to go do drive-bys and all kind of shit.
Yeah, man.
You know, a 10-piece, give a motherfucker a dime or a dub.
Dime or a dub piece, man, you get his car for all night. All night.
Crack.
Yes, indeed.
And, you know, in the hood, we had the homies, some homies didn't give a fuck who they sold to, you know, and, you know, right now today, you still got homies still stuck on that shit. Ain't no way out. You know what I'm saying? Sleeping in parks or downtown somewhere. It fucked up a lot of people. But, you know, like myself and some of the other homies that was, you know, testing that shit and trying it out, like, what's the hype? You know, motherfuckers was smoking Primos. You know what I'm saying? And drinking that 8-ball. You know, we used to go to the Vermont Drive-In and everybody used to just kick it and bam. Then certain motherfuckers start going to prison. Prison saved some of these niggas' lives off of that cocaine. And they came home cool. Some motherfuckers went to jail behind cocaine and came home and went right back to it. And today, there's no respect for that dude in the hood whatsoever, regardless of what he did and, you know, what he put in the hood. The respect level is gone. And these youngsters today, jumping on them, disrespecting them to the fullest. So, yeah, cocaine, it still exists and it's still fucking them up.
Yeah, so you think it's still guys stuck on crack in the neighborhoods today?
Yeah, right now today, they still stuck.
Damn, who's selling crack today, though, dog?
Everybody.
Shit.
Motherfuckers is still making their little odds and ends off cocaine.
I mean, shit. Some of my closest niggas is still doing their thing. I mean, it's just something that, you know, it's just overwhelmed their situation to where they feel like, you know, that's what I do. You get me? Like, no, they not on the motherfucking worldwide baller status and driving around with some of these niggas is just on it because shit, I ain't trying to go get no 9 to 5.
It maintains who they are, their status, keeping money in their pocket. So motherfuckers do it. A lot of the brothers in the hood don't have a choice. You know, even though they got weed, marijuana dispensaries all over the place, you still got cats out there selling weed. Their bags are bigger because they gotta be. But, you know what I'm saying? Some of us don't have a choice. That's the only way of making money, making ends meet.
And it might sound simple enough to go out and get a motherfucking job right now. Everybody hiring, you know, but there's some niggas stuck in the system of that, you know, the neighborhood or that hustle. Mm-hmm. That's what it is to me. A lot of niggas is stuck in the hustle mentality, and it's a way for them to keep the light bill paid, you know, the gas bill paid. Fuck it.
It's just crazy because I was thinking about it earlier, right? Because I saw something. I was looking at snowfall, and that's when I hit you, and I was like, man, I kind of want to talk about the '80s.
Right.
You know, when crack first hit, you know, on Snowfall, they showed the whole thing. It ain't nothing but Freeway Rick's story about how he met up with the guy, the Blandone dude, and got the plug on the cocaine. And I think they was getting it for $8,000 a key or something crazy like that, you know? And he made millions upon millions of dollars. And I just thought about it, and I said, man, because the thing I liked about Snowfall is they just not only glorifying it, they show how the neighborhood went from a place to where it was kind of cool, but then it just turned bigger. Motherfuckers, machine guns, they went from holding a 22 to now they got an AK-47.
Right.
Now they got just big ass shit because they got all this money, right? So, James, you said it came through earlier. Do you remember the first time you heard of this stuff called crack?
Yeah, when it came out, some people in the neighborhood burglarized the house and came up. I'm talking about big bags like this. And the first time I seen motherfuckers rocking that shit in a mayonnaise jar and twirling it and putting it on the stove and rocking it up is one of my OGs, rest in peace, named World. And, you know, if you do it so much without breaking that pressure, the motherfucker blew up. So in our garage, we had paneling on the wall and we had cocaine all over the place. And niggas, Kenny Tubbs and everybody was scraping the shit off the wall. It was crazy. And he was making cookies. And when they broke that shit down, and we didn't know what the fuck we had really, because we was giving up big rocks for $200, shit like this. And it's some cats that took that, what we was selling them, and got rich. We was buying motherfucking 68 Chevys. We wasn't buying the shit that they was getting, but they knew what to do with it. We didn't. So, you know, when it came out, man, it hit, and we went from homies to hating each other. You know what I'm saying? It just tore the hood up. We went from kids hanging out when the street lights was going off, going in the house, to more drive-bys, more of the homies going from this block to the next block, telling the homies they couldn't sell dope because we wanted it all. This our hood. So the homie that really wasn't gangbanging felt the effect of that shit. You know what I'm saying? We had homies, man, we was just jacking them on GP. You know what I'm saying? Just because. And yeah, it went bad, man. It went bad. It turned the whole hood. And this is in every hood upside down. Best friends went to enemies. You know what I'm saying? And every time I talk to my homeboy Master Ron, man, I apologize to him. Because when we got it, this was my ride or die. He was living with me the whole nine. We got both our baby mamas pregnant in the garage at the same time. And I would, when the shit came, I got my sack. Yeah, I left him in the garage. I'm on the block now trying to push this shit. Instead of saying, come on, my nigga, this us. Let's woo woo. And I fucked off a good friendship. This is my ride or die homie. But I didn't know. You know, I'm just thinking about self. And that's what niggas do right now in the day. When they get that bag, they don't think about the homie.
No, they most surely don't. They on their way.
Yeah.
And so, but both y'all being from Compton, and I know them two different time periods. What was you at 8 when you first saw it?
Shit, crack, man. I was actually a youngster, probably around 13, 14. And basically, it's what everybody was doing at the time, you know. At the time around, fucking 86, 87, 85 was the time when I started gang banging and, you know, coming out of that transition of just being a kid going to school and then started seeing the niggas on the corners and all that. So once I started gang banging, of course you're going to be around those niggas who were on the block. So, you know, I would hang out at the homie's house and I would see them, like you say, cooking and, you know, cooking up jars of cookies and breaking them down. And I'm like, what the fuck is that shit? Like, nigga, this is crack. Nigga, this is how you get paid. So being a young 14, 15-year-old, you know, adolescent dude, I wanted to make money too. You know, I didn't see no motherfucking future around Compton.
It was damn near. It was basically get rich overnight.
Yeah, man.
When it first came,
I got introduced
young
to
niggas
it.
making money.
I mean, I was going to Linwood High School, and I started fucking with a couple of dudes, and one of the niggas had a spot. He had a spot on Long Beach Boulevard where all the hotels is, and right there by the car wash and all that on Long Beach Boulevard. So we used to set up over there and be over there till like 3 o'clock in the morning and motherfucker
selling drugs and pimping.
Man, selling drugs like a motherfucker. I didn't know shit. I was a young adolescent kid. When I saw that niggas get money, and then you start seeing the fruits from what niggas is hustling on the corner every night. You get to see niggas pull up in the fancy cars with the plush and the Volkswagen Bugs, the Nissan trucks, you know, the El Caminos and all that shit. And I'm like, God damn, where niggas getting this money from? Because again, I'm still a young kid living at home expecting moms and them to hand me some money for a pair of khakis or whatever. So when niggas was like, nah, nigga, you take $50 and get you a double up. So
for real.
At that time, I was like, fuck it. Save up a couple of, you know, some acts of moms for $10 and pops for $10 and then you get $50 and give it to my sister and go get a double up. And next thing you know, shit, she in there cutting it up for me or we cutting it up and here, you sell this for $5, you sell this for $10, you sell this for $20. And now I'm on the block with 6 other niggas. You get me? Cars is coming through. You rush in the car and everybody, hey, nigga, look at my shit. Nah, nigga, look at my shit. Nigga, my dubs is fatter than. So that's how I got introduced because at that time, that's how young black men were making their money.
It was consequences.
Niggas wasn't on no, let me go get a job at Boys Market or some shit like that. Niggas was like, now I'm going to give me a double up 50, turn that to 100 and 120. And then I'm taking that 100 and go give me another one. And then I'm going to give me another. Next thing, I'm working my way up to 9 fucking ounces. That's my goal.
Well, we failed to realize that the way we was doing the shit and how we was doing the shit, it wasn't the right way. We was just out there ruthless with it. You know what I'm saying? That's why some of the cats that made it big those was the quiet cats. Those was the cats when the sun went down, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, they left Compton and went home.
Yes, sir.
They didn't serve no more. But we was grinding and we stayed out 3, 4, 5 in the morning. That's when everything come out. The police, your drive-bys, and because they knew everybody was gonna run to that car and put their hand in there. And some niggas hear that pop. Pop, pop. You getting popped. Now you're dope and you got motherfucking smokers that was crafty popping your hand up because there's 10 niggas at the door. Trying to say they got the biggest shit. They pop their hand and drag your ass while they taking off. So cocaine fucked up a lot of shit. Not only our families, our homes, but it fucked off friendship with the homies, with your friends, your partners you grew up with. It fucked off everything because all the money that the neighborhood made, the neighborhood wasn't putting it back in the neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? And that's when everybody, dads were going to prison. You know what I'm saying? I remember when the Sherm came out. My pops was in the motorcycle club. And we used to go to Salton Sea. And, man, when you see grown motherfucking men shermed out and riding dirt bikes through the sand and shit, it'll flip you out. And just how they act, they was shooting each other on these runs. One cat got his head shot off with a shotgun. But our pops was doing drugs and selling drugs way before us. And then the cocaine came. They was using them long-ass Moore cigarettes and dip it in there, suck it in, and they was selling them motherfuckers, and motherfuckers was really tripping off of that shit. But then here come cocaine. So cocaine took us to another level. Like the kids today, they using these drugs, the shit they got today introduced me to cocaine anytime compared to the shit they using now and tripping. Having these cats so high and doing this unnecessary ass shooting shit is totally different from cocaine. So I don't know. I can't say it's a system. I can't say it's our fault that we constantly keep letting something or some type of drug ruin our neighborhoods. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's fucked up. It fucked up a whole bunch of shit. My introduction to it, and I'm thinking about it now, my introduction to it, actually first seeing it was around 86. Because I was with my cousin. But you always got a cousin that's a little bit more advanced than you. I had a cousin that was already running up to Detroit back and forth by that time. And this nigga was just like getting money. He'd come back in cars that made everybody else's shit look primitive. You know what I mean? He'd come back in some shit, motherfucking 5.0s and just, shit that niggas wasn't used to seeing in motherfucking Cleveland, Ohio. He had took me over to this one chick's house, and I remember he went over there, they was passing weed at first, passing weed around. And she was in there over the stove cooking some shit. Shaking the motherfucking jar up and shit like that. Then she came out with some shit while she doing that. Her sister, I don't want to say their names or nothing, her sister went and got this other thing behind the bookshelf. It was some toilet paper. There was just a yellow thing. Then I saw them chop that shit up. They was rolling up more weed and they was putting that shit in the weed. And they asked me if I wanted it. I was like, I said, I'm good, because I wasn't smoking weed or nothing back then. You know what I mean? I'm just looking at this shit, though. And I remember seeing them hit that weed with that shit laced in it. They called them motherfuckers Primos.
Right.
Primo, yeah.
I saw them smoke that shit. It wasn't like the regular weed, because they'd smoke that shit and get the nodding off and shit.
Niggas in the hood used to mix it with cigarette.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Niggas
was totally different.
Primo. Some niggas be on that Sherm.
Well, back then, though, you was cool. It wasn't the shit that they giving you today. This shit that when you start seeing niggas tweaking, like when I got out of prison, I saw one of the homeboys like on some buck-eyed bullshit. What the fuck is this nigga on? Cocaine was totally different. Now they stepping on the shit. And you constantly had to, my uncle is still like, he'll bug out. He'll stay home for a year, but he got to go bug out for 2 weeks. He got to bug out a week. And we all got somebody in our family that's on that shit and can't get off of it. And I don't know the reason why they gotta get high. I don't know why they gotta constantly keep doing it, but you know, it's just there. It's there. And our family's still affected by this shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad I went to prison in '86 because I don't know where I would have been. A lot of cats that was smoking primos and doing the hood shit, some of them cats didn't come out of it. But a lot of the real ones came out of it and pushed on and you know, doing their thing.
No, with y'all fellas,
Yeah, I think that if you grew up in those type of areas, you know, the inner cities, the ghettos, the 70s, the 80s, you had somebody or some form of family, whatever,
Right.
that had, you know, drugs. You know, I knew a lot of motherfuckers who did sherm. You get me? It was like you don't do crack, but then homies in the hood smoke sherm. It was the cool thing to do. Fuck it. You get me? I never tried it. My thing was, I think I've seen so much shit behind it that I was one of those motherfuckers who felt like, because honestly, you know, you was considered a cluckhead if you did crack.
oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
It wasn't cool.
And then I would see people off of, you know, crack and shermed out and butt naked and just, so that always made me go, man, I don't want to do none of that shit.
That's how it was
so
for me.
I smoked weed. That was my experience. I never tried anything else because basically I was scared to try anything else. Because when you got family members and people you see, you know, I guess at that time, you know, growing up in the hood around the 88, 89, it was, you know, you had the homies who did sherm, then you had the motherfuckers who did the crack and the pipe shit.
Man, I tried that, got the PCP one time. My homeboy Tim came to the house, right? We on the porch kicking it. And he said, I got this stick, man, let's smoke it. It's like, you know, I didn't even smoke cigarettes at that time.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, fuck it, light it up. So he lit the shit. I'm like, damn, that shit loud.
Mm-hmm.
So he passed it to me. I hit it. Then my homeboy Ron hit it. Next thing you know, I seen all kind of shit, right? So I'm on the top of the porch, and I'm fucked up. So I don't know what I saw, but I jumped off the porch with my hands spread wide in the air, and I hit the ground. Bam! I had a knot on my head for about 6 months. The motherfucker started growing hair, man. I never touched that shit again. I was, hey, and I know if y'all out there hearing that shit, I know y'all laughing like motherfuckers. I swear to God, I thought I was like just on some, like I could fly shit.
Yeah, the nigga, that
and
shit.
I jumped.
That, James said, nigga, I was on the porch. It was like, nigga, watch this shit.
And
nigga.
I jumped off
Once
the
we
motherfucker.
fly around the hood
I
right
swear to
quick,
God.
oh, you motherfuckers.
Yeah, so I've experimented with it, just like marijuana. You know, I smoked weed one time. My jaws got so fat and shit. And I got the clown of one of the homies. He didn't like it. Next thing you know, I'm jumping on this nigga because he's mad. So I didn't smoke weed no more.
James
Never smoked weed again.
James got high and
I
just
couldn't
got
do
the
it.
clown in the motherfucker.
Yeah.
Like, nigga.
Bagging like motherfucker, nigga. Ain't feeling it.
He done pissed the nigga off.
Oh man.
And then he probably laughing like a motherfucker on the joke.
Everything that I've tried, my experience with it is a motherfucker. Like, you know, just sitting in my house drinking. And, you know, one of my homeboys there, and we getting fucked up, and I'm drunk as a motherfucker. My girl used to bring me fucking half gallons of that goddamn gin. So I'm drinking my gin and Super Sacco, but my homie over there looking at me stupid. So he got a little 25 and shit. I'm like, nigga, where you come in my house with a gun? Let me see that. So I took the gun. I'm drunk in the motherfucker, right? So I take the motherfucking gun and I, bah! And I shoot him. But I'm drunk as fuck. So I'm tripping off him because he hollering. You know what I'm saying? And I'm still drinking. And I grazed his shoulder and the nigga hollering and shit. So I tell the little homie, fuck, go get this nigga some alcohol. So he go in the kitchen, in the bathroom, get the alcohol, put the alcohol and the Band-Aid on him. I told the nigga, shut the fuck up and get drunk. And we just got fucked up. But he had the opportunity to say, oh, nigga, you shot me, motherfucker. No. Shut the fuck up, let's get drunk. So every experience I had, it was just way out for me. Mm-hmm. So I couldn't slow down on the liquor because I'm full blown now. That's all I'm doing. Mm-hmm. Just drinking like a motherfucker every day. I start off in the morning, I'm drinking 8-ball all day. I'm straight 8-ball.
And that 8-ball is a motherfucker.
Down, I'm on that gin and Super Sacco. I'm fucked up, tripping.
I don't know how niggas drunk that Seagram's gin with that Sacco, and that Cisco was the worst shit ever, man. Every time I drunk Cisco, I blacked out.
Well, it all depends on how much you drink, though. If you drinking it all day, you gonna black out.
And basically, like I said, if you was growing up in the hood, it was all about the budget.
Right.
You get me? We trying to budget. So we buying 40 ounces. We buying gin and Cisco. Motherfucker, you can go to Boys Market, get 2 fifths of gin for $11.
Right.
So gin, Christian Brothers, nigga, Hennessy and shit like that was rich man's drink.
I stayed once from the gin to the Hennessy. And I think the Hennessy is what gave me the diabetes. Drinking so much of that shit.
Probably so. They actually got a lot of sugar in it.
Yeah. Me and my homeboy Showbo, rest in peace. We used to sit at the motherfucking dope spot and just drink bottles after bottles. Just get fucked up.
It's crazy how as a younger motherfucker, you don't even look at that shit.
Right.
Like, I'm getting fucked up every fucking day. But you don't even think about that shit. You know, you getting high, niggas smoking sherm, niggas is drinking like serious shit.
Right.
Like as young niggas in the neighborhood, when you ought to been on guard because of what everything was going on and the drive-bys and all that. But shit, niggas would be in the alley somewhere getting fucked the hell up every day.
Getting loaded, waking up on the porch, somebody waking you up, knocked out on your porch. You know, to me, I wouldn't change none of it. You know what I'm saying? Because without knowing what I was doing and how I did it, I wouldn't know what I know now. But, you know, it's a lot of cats out here today don't respect the drug they use.
Oh, no, it's motherfuckers out here that don't know what it is they're using. It's so dangerous right now. All them cats is on them pills. You take the wrong pill, that could be laced with that shit, that fentanyl and all kind of shit, man. So you don't know. Right. Motherfuckers got pill presses at home and make anything and they killing their customers off now. Motherfucker knowingly put that shit in there to try to stretch some shit and kill a whole bunch of people.
Right. Yeah. Well, it's definitely dangerous now. So.
Yeah, because they'll lace your shit with no problem. And I just don't understand that process of the drug dealer. You
right.
Get me? Like, we all, you know, I sold, James, whatever. But we were never to the point of where we like, nigga, let's fucking dip this weed in this sherm and then sell it to a nigga.
But they doing it,
and
though.
See how the fuck he act when he go home and roll
this
shit
they
up.
Doing it, though.
But nowadays, they'll be like, yeah, let's take this and mix it with this and then sell it to a nigga.
And the fucked up part about it, you know, you give a motherfucker some shit like that, or he go home, never wake up, or he kills somebody in his house. Because he flips the fuck out thinking he just smoking some regular weed. Next thing you know, he's seeing colors and hallucinations and shit and shoot up some shit. You know what I mean?
Well, Norm, at the end of the day, you got to look at it like this. We don't respect each other no more. So we don't give a fuck where we get the next cat. And it's all about making that money today. You know what I'm saying? And niggas, like back then, if a nigga went to jail today, he ain't got money for a lawyer or a bail. He ain't got no money. We don't think about the consequences. I'm going to do this today, but then tomorrow, I gotta prove my innocence. You know, going to jail and going to court and all that shit. We don't think. And the drugs, like the lean, you know, these niggas take that lean and be on the Percocet, you know, and man, you lost. You can get robbed. You can get, anything can happen to you. You know what I'm saying? But we just don't give a fuck.
Not two fucks at all.
It's a lot of motherfuckers advocate for getting high today.
Right.
Get me? I don't think that we encourage the young homies under us to, yeah, nigga, go on hit that sherm, nigga, go ahead and do that crack. We didn't make it like where it was cool to do. I guess the fucking generation of the youth today and the rappers and the artists, you know, that's their niche. Let's make it cool to pop some Percocets. Let's make it cool to pop some, you know, it's the party drug now.
I think it's just a cycle with a different scenario, with a different drug. And it's gonna stay in the hood. If it ain't the shit they using today, it's gonna be some shit that they made up after that shit. Because once your system get used to this, a motherfucker wants something to really get him fucked up. You know what I'm saying? So they're gonna try the next drug that come along. And it's in the hood. It's in the hood.
Let me ask y'all, do y'all think that it's controllable or uncontrollable for a person to go from smoking weed or drinking? Is it within yourself or is it out of control to where you feel a motherfucker have to go to the next level of wanting to get high? Because there's some cats, like you said, who tried weed and, oh, no, nigga, I don't want to try nothing else. I won't never try crack or sherm or whatever. And then there's some people who tried weed and go, oh, shit, I need to try sherm. Right. Or I need to try powder now. I need to. So is that the beast of not being able to control your high? Because me, I smoked weed, and because what I saw, what crack and sherm did to niggas, made me go, I don't never want to do that shit.
Oh, same here with me, because I didn't never want to try no shit that I couldn't stop doing. You feel what I mean? Like, I hit weed every once in a while, right? But it's not something that I have to have. I can go whatever. Like, it's not like...
Even, not to cut you off, even on the party drug shit, when motherfuckers started going around and bitches started taking ecstasy and all that shit, I never wanted to go, well, ecstasy make you fuck a bitch all night and you go all night.
See, all that
it never made me go, oh, I want to try that. That shit made me go, I'm scared of that shit.
Yeah, I'm scared of shit like that.
I mean, I wouldn't be scared of it. It's just the shit that's going on today. So if you can't keep up with the Joneses, then you'll never understand it. And that's why a lot of these chicks was getting caught up, because they didn't understand it. My sister and them, I tell them, put a napkin on top of your shit through your straw. Don't leave your drinks sitting there and then go out there dancing and shit. Because there's cats out there that's with it like that. That will put some in your shit. The Visine. Remember back in the day we was using the Visine? Damn, I said we was using. Back in the days when they used Visine to knock a bitch out. You know what I'm saying? That was the cheapest shit to do, to put a female out. And those are hood parties.
Yeah.
Now you in the back seat, she don't even know it, getting her brains fucked out because the nigga done went bam on her. But the choices that we make, once we pass 18, 19, 21, now we got choices. We don't have to go to it or do this drug just because. The majority of the time, niggas did that same drug and wouldn't touch it because all the homies was on it. So just to be a part of that and feel like you one of the homies too, they did it. And those are the ones that took that drug harder than the ones that was already doing it. And he the one that's fucked up out of the whole litter. He's still on it. Everybody else had a chance to get out of that shit or walk away. But the ones that didn't do it and didn't want to do it and felt they had to do it, them the ones that got stuck. But we all got a choice on what drug we use. Like myself, I tried PCP. I didn't like that shit. I kept a reminder on my motherfucking forehead what it did. I'm not doing that no more. So those are choices that we can't blame the next nigga. You know what I'm saying?